Hi everyone, I'm Shelly from There's No Place Like Home at redheadmom8.wordpress.com. One of the questions that I hear very often in some variation is, do you get tax credits for homeschooling, or do you get some form of government money to put towards your homeschool curriculum? And we do not get tax credits or government funding to put towards our homeschooling. And I know that Betsy DeVos and some other people had been talking about possibly doing something like that. But I'm going to tell you today that I am adamantly against that. I do not want tax credits for our homeschool curriculum, and I do not want government funding for our homeschool curriculum. And I'm going to tell you why. If you look at the government funding that goes to schools, the schools are very tightly restricted by the federal government in what they can do or how they can teach the materials that they use with the kids. You know, look at those states or those districts who said we're not going to be using Common Core. Immediately, the government said that they were going to hold back funding to those states because they were refusing to use Common Core. And that is exactly what would happen in the homeschool community. Right now, one of the best assets that we have is our freedom to choose our own curriculum, our freedom to choose how we are going to approach learning with our kids. You know, it doesn't have to be, you know, a schoolroom type setting in the homeschool. You have people who are using library books to homeschool their kids. You have people who are using the traditional school curriculums to homeschool their kids. You have people using unit studies to homeschool their kids. And you have people who don't use any curriculum at all other than life to homeschool their kids. And it is all completely legal in every state. We have that freedom to choose what works best for our family. That would not be happening if the government was giving us money. Because you know, and I know, that the government doesn't give away money for free, which is silly if you ask me, because the money that they're giving to you is basically money that they took from you in the first place. But that's a conversation for another day. But you know that they don't give money away for nothing. There's always a catch. And I know that with that government funding, with those tax credits, would come restrictions. And I know that there are areas that do get tax credits for homeschooling. And very often I hear that they are not allowed to use religious curriculum. And sometimes I've also heard that they have to actually have the curriculum approved that they are going to use. And I do not want that sort of restriction in my homeschool. I know what is best for my kids. I know what I want to teach my kids, and I know how I want to teach my kids. If I wanted my kids to have the input of the federal government in their education, I would just put them in school. Why would I want government intrusion into our homeschool telling us how it is that we're supposed to do things? They can't even get things right in their own education system. So I know that there are a lot of people who are looking at the money aspect of this thinking, well, you know what? We have to pay school taxes even though our kids aren't in school, but so we should get some of that money back. But at what cost? I agree that I think that it's pretty ridiculous that we have to pay school taxes. But at what cost are you willing to get that money to put in your homeschool? Are you willing to give up the freedom that you right now hold? Okay? Because it wouldn't be there. Just as the federal government loves to take things away from school districts and states that don't do things the way that they want them to, you can bet that they would do that to homeschoolers too. And that is something that I am not ever going to take lying down. So anyway, that's all that I have today. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet and would like to hear more of what I have to say, I would love if you would do that. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave one in the box below. And if you like my work, I encourage you to go check out my page on Patreon and see what rewards I have for my patrons there. And I hope you have a great day.